Mencius, the Chinese sage born a century after Socrates, held that the whole of education consists in recapturing one's original heart, what we would call true memory, through the cultivation of intuitive faculties that have previously been allowed to atrophy. But for many of our modern doctors of education and psychoanalysis, as well as our power politicians and professors of divinity, the very word intuition is taboo. They say there ain't no such animal. The faculty of intuition is the Cinderella of all faculties and is mocked or ignored by rationalists, factualists, and intellectualists. So it is no wonder that it atrophies in them to the extent that they have no conscious memory of intuitive synthesis or of psychic wholeness. Psychology is still in its infancy. Psychic awareness is ignored, or it is degraded into merely seeing ghosts and other trivial phenomena. Psychic researchers seem unaware that they themselves are psyches, and that their psychic sensibilities are far vaster in scope than either their matter awareness or their mental consciousness. Most people are even unaware of the psychic vibrations which are all around us. Psychic storms are called earthquakes, droughts, famines, epidemics, and wars. And our doctors try to cure the symptoms while ignoring the cause. Such doctors of neuroses and psychosis pry and probe deep into the subconscious and the immediate past. Cleverly do they mentalize and mess about in what somber and tiny region of our vast storehouse of psychic memory, finding with the torchlight of their sparkling intellect oedipus complexes, psychic poisons, unhealed scars, and lies disguised as facts. Semi-deified sex is put on the throne of life and is worshipped in many disguises, but rarely in its deepest cosmic significance. To them, sublimation is the goal. But again, these learned ones seem to be scenting and pursuing the wrong track. Sublimate what? And who is the one who sublimates? It is all very sublime and divine, but why not face the source? Find it, and from there see the symptoms wholly. In the light of psychic wholeness and integral being, our diseases may be at least accepted, and often they can be healed. The trouble is not sex, but its abuse through intellectualization, the busyness of sex on the mind. The cause of our ignorance, fever, and fret is the psyche, which egos mock and doctors in their learned ignorance ignore or fear. The diagnoses of psychic analysts often seems very infantile, and where one psychosynthesis who are able to diagnose and cure human kinds of diseases, first we must find one that can do such a thing. And first, they tell us we must be saved. But the only way to be truly saved is becoming livingly aware of our own vast psyche. And only then can we begin to diagnose and save our fellow pilgrims. The idea, and much less the truth, of a superconscious realm to our being is not accepted by most Western schools of psychology. To them, the mystic realization of life through self-awareness is seen as a lower and more primitive state of consciousness. It must of necessity be so to mental humans until they are free from their learned inhibitions and can begin to experience life livingly and wholly. Flashes of intuition are common among artists, geniuses, intellectuals, and women. Such flashes, like lightning on a dark night, often flicker and become unsteady, and therefore don't lead the person to integral being or ego transcendence. Similarly, although the psychic visions of ordinary seership and mediumship are often mixed up with intuition and even with mysticism, the awareness is rarely ego-free. The clear, steady, and simple light of intuition is not so easily attained. For how can we acquire what is here and ours all the time? Only when we are still can it be aware. When we have slept long enough, the moment will come when we simply awake into awareness. Ripeness is all. The tantric gate to psychic sensibilities is broad and easy to unlock, but the path beyond this gate has many pitfalls, especially to clever folks who think that they can play with the devil and be immune. In positive passivity, in negative capability, that is, to remain in the unknown without need to grasp, explain, or utilize facts, and in a purely receptive and accepting attitude, intuition grows in grace as a trustworthy tool, a key to awareness. Once intuition predominates, then the critical, analytical, and mental tools may come to its support, or at least no longer block its development. It has been said that reason's extremity is intuition's opportunity. But this seems more true of the flashy kind of intuition, and not the simple, steady light of the mature soul. The usurping intellect does seem to bar and hinder our awareness of intuition as the leading light. But once the intellect breaks and the mind is transcended, intuition may shine forth and take the lead. But this rarely happens unless the soul is mature and sure in both poise and balance. More often, reason's extremity brings forth muddled and confused madness. After all, there is some method to the madness of natural, simple mystics who can calmly, clearly, and sagely escape the bondage of the mind and be free of space and time. They do this not through abandoning their reason, but by harmonizing all of their tools to develop a simple poise. Reason is a useful bridge between instinct and intuition, and few pilgrims can dispose of it until they know how to use their intuitive wings. If need be, let us keep our reason, but still we need not cling to it. Faith, like reason, must also be left behind. When we know livingly, we no longer need to believe in anything. When we experience God directly, we are silent and still, cured of our fret, our fear, and our efforting. We are at ease in life, and the search for love is left behind. The less of creature awareness, the more of God awareness. The more we lose our ego, the more we realize that who we are is God. He to whom the eternal word speaketh is set free from the multitude of opinions. That which he had lost sight of in wordiness, he may find in solitude and in silence.